Hi, and welcome to the Passion Project. I'm your host, Coach Richard Bacon. I got a great group of former great high school players that are now moved on to college, and they want to tell you guys a little bit about their different experiences. We have volleyball players, track and field, basketball, baseball, JUCO, HBCU, Division I. We have everything covered. NAIA, we got everything covered up here. We have a lot of good information for you. So please, not only tune in, but stay tuned. All right, so as I do with all my guests, I have them to introduce themselves. So I'm gonna start here to my right from Timberview High School here in Mansfield, now LSU, Ms. Taylor Fingers.
Okay, my name is Taylor Fingers. I went to Timberview High School and I graduated in 2023. I run track and I have a full scholarship at LSU. I participate in the long and triple jump.
Long and triple?
Yes.
Okay.
My name is Bryn Williams. I went to Mansfield High here in Mansfield. My graduation year was 2022. I played volleyball as well. I earned a full ride scholarship to Texas Tech University to play. And yeah, I'm going into my junior year.
What position you play, Bryn?
Outside hitter.
Outside hitter, okay.
Hi, my name is Adriana Bacon. I went to DeSoto High School, class of 2023. I play volleyball. I'm on a full ride from academic and athletic money, and I go to Virginia State University. I'm a 6th rotation outside and a defensive specialist and libero.
RJ Foreman, or Russell Foreman II. I went to DeSoto High School and graduated in 2023. I play basketball, and I'm on a full ride scholarship to McLennan Community College.
And if you've ever watched any of my shows at the beginning, when you see that basket made, this is the guy on that. Yeah, he's the one on the show.
Hi, my name is Jackson Cotton. I went to Mansfield High School. I graduated in 2023. I played basketball. I got 50% off for basketball and academics to go to Kansas Wesleyan.
What position you play?
I play forward.
And RJ, what are you playing?
Play forward.
Okay.
I'm Gavin Brzozowski. I went to Mansfield High. I graduated in 2021. I feel old here because everyone graduated after. I play baseball at Baylor University, and I'm on just about a full ride with academic and athletic money. And I play outfield and I pitch a little bit.
Oh, just a little bit?
Just a little bit here and there. Okay. I'm a position player at heart, but I just throw hard. Do I know where the ball's going? Not at all.
All right, so let's take some of these young kids through recruitment.
Yes.
So we're going to start with you, Gavin. How was your recruitment out of high school?
My recruitment out of high school was definitely different than probably all of y'all because I was really injured during high school. And so I only had one Division I offer to UTA, and the rest were junior college. And I ended up going junior college my first year out of high school. And it was the right route for me because I thought I could have done a little bit better than what I showed in high school just because I was injured and I wanted to be able to play at a better opportunity. I knew I could if I had my heart and soul, put everything in my athletic body that I could into playing baseball. And I took the gamble and it paid off. So for me, it was more junior college and just kind of lower colleges, but everyone has a different path getting to where they are, so it worked out great for me. And junior college is never the wrong option. Neither is NAIA, D3, D2. Wherever you can play more outside of high school is the place for you.
Wow. So which junior college did you attend?
I went to Northeast Texas Community College for one semester, and I had Tommy John there, and I decided to come home. And I worked, and I did my rehab at this place called Cova Sports right down the street over there. They helped me through my rehab. And then I did commit to UTA for that sophomore year. But the head coach left, everything fell through, and I was out playing summer ball in Kansas. And it's crazy how this all happened because, like, there has to be a higher power. God really is the person who got me through this because I decommitted because the head coach left, wasn't for sure, haven't played baseball in a year. And so the head coach ended up going to Baylor. The head coach at McLennan at the time for baseball ended up going to Baylor. And my head coach for my summer ball team ended up going to Baylor too.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, so I knew
divine intervention, baby.
3 coaches going into Baylor, and they called me like a week after I decommitted. They said, "Do you want to play here?" And I said, "Yes," on the phone. Like, didn't even take the visit, didn't do anything. I just said, "Yes."
Right.
I know what I'm getting into. They gave me some good money, and I was like, "Okay, this is it. This is the place for me."
Good, good. All right, Jackson.
My recruiting wasn't as exciting as that. Mine was way more simple. I didn't have any offers from all the way throughout my junior year, and then TABC going into my senior year, I had like a really good game against a team that I wouldn't say was very good, but I put up good numbers. And then Kansas Wesleyan saw me, shot me a text, and then after that, I just kind of fell in love because he was just the coach I talked to. Coach Murdoch, I love him. He just was so vocal, and he always texted me. He always reached out. He always made sure to make me know hey, if you ever need anything, you can always text me. And I committed fairly early. I committed in December, middle of the season, and I took my visit and I fell in love. I didn't want to go anywhere else. I felt like that was home for me.
You know what? I have a similar story of a former player of mine. We played in a Whataburger tournament. He hadn't been. He was good, but he hadn't been recruited. And this is his senior year. He goes out and goes 7 of 8 from 3. And the coach came up to me after the game and said, "Hey, coach," he said, "does he shoot like that all the time?" I said, "He sure does." And there he was, scholarship offer, got a chance to go off to school. So sometimes it's just that one time that coach sees you, or fortunate like for Gavin, you got 3 coaches that all know him going to the same spot. Shoot, that's no brainer. All right, RJ, tell us about your recruitment.
Well, mine was not as exciting like he said as Gavin's, but I had some interest from some schools, some top tier schools like Texas Tech or A&M. I had some from LSU, and I had quite a few options, especially playing for DeSoto, Coach Bacon. So that was great, but it was really a hard decision at first because I had some options to go to different spots that weren't even at college. Like I had chances to go at the pro route, and I was didn't know what to do, and so me and my family just spent a couple weeks just hard praying, prayer every day. Just relentless prayer because I had no clue what to do, and I was a little frustrated too because it was what do I do? And I was we prayed about it, and the Lord was okay, Lord, can you please lead us? Lead me, first of all, where to go. And so, interestingly, some of the coaches at McLennan had watched some of the film I played, and Coach Gill and Coach Green, 2 great, amazing coaches, love both of them. They had saw me, and they called my trainer, Coach Brown, and they said, "Hey, seems like a great kid, and we would like him to come up there." And so, I didn't think anything of it. I was I'll go up there for a little visit, just for go up there and play. And so when I got up there, it threw me right into the game. We started playing games, playing hardcore 5-on-5, and I got to visit around the school. And the school is an excellent school. The people, the teachers, just the whole culture of McLennan is just excellent. And I was my parents told me, "This is your spot," and I was well, I don't know, And then we prayed about it, and the Lord kept revealing signs to McLennan. So my family always goes, you go against the Lord, it's not going to be good. So you better follow what he says. So
that's right. I don't think I want to have him as an opponent.
No. So that's where I went. So that's why I went to McLennan.
Okay, good. Adriana.
For me, all of junior year, I had a lot of communication with coaches and interest and stuff like that, but no offers, no visits or anything. And then I went to a college fair and found out about Virginia State because I'd never heard of it before. And so I was let me just go talk to the coach, see what they have. And we talked all summer, all of my senior season, and she wanted me to come on a visit. And then we went on a visit, and it just felt like home. Everything about it felt right. I was this is the place I want to be. The girls were great. The facilities are absolutely amazing. They're way better than most schools I've seen. And so I committed right after my visit, 2 weeks, I think, and been happy ever since.
Okay. Bryn?
So I would say my recruiting process started maybe freshman year. That's whenever you get into club, whenever you want to become serious, I would say, I'm just going to speak for my sport, but volleyball, it starts maybe whenever you enter high school, you really got to kind of decide what sport you kind of want to get into. So my freshman year of high school, You kind of go to college campuses, recruiting starts to pick up for some girls, maybe even in 8th grade. 8th grade, 7th grade, so freshman year is where it all started for me. That's whenever I was in club, and then that was my 15th, 16th year. And I would say that was the moment I'm like, okay, I really want to settle down, play volleyball. And so I got reached out to, which is actually really funny. My first college letter was from Tech. And so it was like, oh my goodness, so just to see it all play out is hilarious. But that was my first college letter, so I remember getting it in the mail and being like, Dad, I'm so excited, that's my first letter. Right. So I got that, and it was a questionnaire, so you fill it out, it has their contact information. And so actually, I would say mid-freshman year, I went to the elite camp. They have elite camp, and they have other camps for, let's say, middle school, elementary, grade school, whatever it is. And they invited me to the elite camp, which—
At Texas Tech?
Yes.
Okay.
Which is only invite only. So I was really excited. So we drove up to Lubbock, good old 5-hour drive. And I'm nervous. I'm oh my goodness. So I get there, and all the girls are taller than me. I'm not the tallest on the volleyball court ever. And so I'm Dad, they have to be older than me. He's no, they're your age. So I was oh my gosh. So, I just played volleyball. I tried to stand out, try to make some good impressions whenever I was there. And obviously, I guess it worked out. So I get a call the next day, I'm back home, call from the head coach. And so I'm nervous, I'm 14 years old. And so I'm okay, my dad's next to me, I answer. And that's whenever my coach had pulled the trigger, Coach Greystone. And so I committed my junior year because COVID kind of slowed things down my sophomore year. Committed my junior year of high school. Kind of still felt out the recruiting process because with COVID, once again, it slows down with, now you have virtual tours, now you have video calls and all that stuff. So I feel whenever you get on campus, it's just kind of that feeling. I know you guys had talked about it a little bit. You feel whenever you're home, and that was exactly the feeling that I had. I visited one at their college campus, and I knew instantly that wasn't really for me.
Right.
So you kind of have the feeling of, yes, I want to be here, or no, I kind of don't see myself here. But like I said, whenever I stepped on campus in Lubbock for, I want to say 4 years ago, it was almost 5 years ago, I just had that feeling of comfort. And so, I still feel very comforted there. I love being in Lubbock, and it is very secluded, 5 hours away from home, but still not too far, not too close. But yeah, I've loved it ever since.
Wow. Okay, Taylor,
Okay.
tell us about it.
I would also say my recruiting was a little different. With track, I feel you can get into it a little bit later and be all fine because that's kind of how I got into it. For me, I was playing soccer. That was my primary sport up until my junior year when I quit the summer before my senior year to focus on track. I had a couple interests, I guess, from schools. It wasn't until after state, my junior year, I had done really well. So over the
So
summer,
how well did you do?
I got second place my junior year.
In what event?
Long jump.
Okay.
Yeah, and I got 4th in the triple jump. So then that's when I really started getting attention, started talking to coaches, and then I went on visits my senior year. My first visit was LSU. And honestly, I fell in love with the school as soon as I got there. But I'm okay, I'm gonna try to keep an open mind. I visited Texas A&M, so I'm trying to keep an open mind. But in the back of my head, I knew LSU was the place. And I felt out of all the schools, they saw the potential that I had. Because at that time, I was good, but I wasn't as good as I was after my senior year. And then I committed a little bit after the November signing day. And then that was it.
Wow, so some of you guys had it all figured out the first time. That's amazing. Except Gavin, but Gavin's situation is a lot different. All right, so now we've chosen our schools. We all happy, we get on campus. What was the biggest adjustment for you once you actually got there as the student?
Probably the biggest adjustment I had to make almost immediately was my time management. I feel my time management was horrible. And then after the first 2 weeks, I'm all right, I have to it was the first 2 weeks I was I'm here to be a basketball player. And then I was no, I'm not. I gotta lock in and realize I'm here to also be a student and get a degree. So probably my time management, and then also probably eating. So I was doing a lot of other stuff. I wouldn't really have time to eat, and the calf sometimes is weird hours. So I would never be able to fully go get my 3-4 meals a day. So I would eat once or twice, and I'd be starving for the whole day.
When as a coach, I think when I talked to players that were going off to college, I think the biggest thing I told them that they were going to have to adjust to is time management. Because for one, there's no one managing it for you but you, with the exception of maybe your coach who says you have to be here, you have to be there, or you need to show up for this. You kind of like being an adult and a student, you know, kind of transition that you're making right now from being a kid at home to an adult. Yeah, it's kind of RJ, what was it for you, man?
Man, that first time I got on there, I didn't realize how much, first of all, my parents did that I didn't have to worry about until I got there. Driving, gas, taking care of everything, like making sure I have all my stuff. I mean, I remember the first week was like crazy because you got to make sure you get out the house, get into class on time, early, and then you got to make sure you're ready for practice. And that first, I think that first or second practice, we had an open gym, so we were going to work out. I forgot my shoes the first time. Second time I forgot like socks and chain. It was crazy, and I had to work out in the shoes I had on. But
yeah, you don't have all those reminders. Hey, I thought I told you to get up. It's time to go. Okay.
If you don't set your alarm,
It's reps.
you miss something, that's on you. It ain't nobody else. And so you got to make like that too. Set your alarm. Make sure it's a lot, but I mean, once you get adjusted to it, it isn't as difficult. It's still tough, but you know, it's not as difficult when you get adjusted to it. So.
What was your biggest adjustment, Adriana?
I have two. So
Okay.
my first one is kind of the distance, since I am like 19 hours away from home. That was like one of the biggest ones. And then I would also say like getting adjusted to not always getting to play. Since I am a freshman, I have to kind of wait my turn and like realize that there are people that have been there and have like already been playing and like have the college experience.
I think I agree with Jackson, kind of the time management part, because whenever I first got there, it was really difficult to manage. Yes, you have everything laid out from hour to hour, but it's kind of in those in-between times, okay, when am I gonna do homework? They don't have a block schedule for when you're gonna do homework or when you're gonna eat, you know? So it's kind of like just I say mandatory, which obviously eating is mandatory, but just the things that you have to be at. So let's say you have study hall this hour. You have to be there from this hour to this hour, and then you have to go to class this hour, and then you have practice and rehab. So kind of just, I say the in-between things, but kind of, like I said, just the eating and homework part was hard to kind of squeeze in, especially whenever you are traveling, let's say twice a week. So let's say you're gone for 3-4 days out of the week, and then, you know, you only have 7 days in a week, and let's say they have 4 or 5 practices, you know, you're trying to manage everything. So I think the first year is really the year for you to get adjusted and find a flow that like works for you.
And did it affect your volleyball too when you found your rhythm?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, as you play better, you know, because you're not as stressed out, you're not
Right.
scrambling all the time, so that, you know, obviously that helps out a little bit. So, like I said, I think that would be like the biggest piece of advice I would give to athletes that do want to become a college athlete. Find a rhythm, you know, try to be punctual if you can, but yeah, that's all.
Taylor?
For me, my biggest difference was the nutrition. So for me, I didn't eat the best when I was in high school, I'm gonna be honest.
You fast food junkie?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
And then getting to college, you know, we have our athletic dining hall, and there's healthy foods. There's not really burgers and stuff. So that was my biggest difference, was eating better. We have our supplements, our vitamins, taking our vitamins. Just trying to be the healthiest you can be.
Gavin.
The biggest difference is what Bryn said, just finding a routine that works for you. Because in high school, I didn't study too much. I was in NHS, I was pretty smart. I was an engineering major my first semester. No longer that, just time. We'll go with time here. Being a two-way athlete, so hitting and pitching, I have to do twice the amount of work as most people do. So being at the field longer, trying to do homework, trying to eat, trying to stay alive and sleep. Sleep was a big one because we had 4 5:30 a.m. lifts a week. So
What time?
5:30 a.m.
AM.
Bright and early.
Right now. So would all y'all collectively say that at some point there were things that you had to give up?
Yeah.
Oh, huge. Yeah.
Can I
Huge.
answer that actually? I like to play video games, and so it's I
Yeah.
can't do that as much as I want to in season. During
to get
season,
off the game.
that's really not even a thing at all.
Taking off of that, I knew coming down, because I like video games too, and I like to watch TV, movies and stuff. I love movies. And so when I went down, sacrifices was big. And so the sacrifice I made, I didn't bring a TV down. or a video game system, because I wanted to make sure when I got bored or I started wanting to do something, I do homework or go to the gym.
Yeah, especially when you're in high school, there are things that you say, man, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. But when it wasn't as great as that scholarship and staying on campus, and you look at all the other luxuries that come along with what you guys are being able to do as college athletes and students, man, I ain't playing no video games tonight. Y'all going to work?
Sacrifices video games. Oh my gosh, yeah,
You know,
it was hilarious.
You on the HBCU campus, boy. It's parties and everything going on.
Parties,
And all that stuff.
everything. People yelling down the hallway saying, there's this going on tonight. Homecoming week is always crazy, and we didn't really get to experience that since, like, you know, we had a tournament, an away tournament, and homecoming's like the biggest thing for HBCUs. But like that whole week leading up to it, it was like party this, going out during the day, go do this, like during class time, lunchtime, there was always something going on. So it was like kind of hard to like have a social life and like find time to like do homework, be an athlete, all that stuff.
But you made out though, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
So it wasn't
I
as-
still made the time for all of it. I figured out a good schedule for all of it.
Well, it's going back. That's what you say. You got to
Yeah.
find out what works for you.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like, we're all blessed to be able to play our sports at a very high level. And that's one thing that pushes me through a lot too. Like, man, I'm complaining about homework and I'm getting to play Power 5 baseball. And not a lot of people get that opportunity.
You guys are truly blessed.
Yes,
For sure.
100%.
For sure. Okay, so now that leads me to this question. We know you're there for your sport. That's what got you there. But we know you also have to do the academic stuff. And we know all of us want to have a little social life, right? If you had to rank, what was the hardest thing from going from high school to college? Was it the academics? Was it the sport itself? Because, you know, like you said, something about when you got to college and all this. I remember first day on my campus. You know, I leave here, I'm all state, I'm all this. I get down there, and I'm the smallest guy in the gym, like you, right? Smallest person in the gym. I'm looking at all these guys. I said, man, these dudes got to be in the NBA. You know, I'm like, wow. So, but anyway, let's go. So was it the academics, was it the athletics, or was it the social? Put them in rank order.
I think for me, it was athletics, academics, and then social life. I put athletics first because you come in your freshman year, the youngest kid there. You know, you're fresh out of high school, and then you're with girls that may be fifth year seniors, you know, 22 years old, maybe
Wrong.
even 23 years
Maybe
old.
be married.
Yeah, I know. So it's like, oh my goodness, whenever I got there, I called my dad, I'm like, they're grown women. Like, they are grown women, and I'm playing with them. And I was just in high school 3, 4, and 5 months ago, you know? So I think that was the toughest part for me, just trying to catch up to speed, because he's like, what do you notice? What's different about volleyball? Like, you've been playing for so long, but what's different about being in college now? I'm like, the speed. Because my classes my freshman year, they don't really try to overload you, especially when you're in season. You know, so we will probably do your tougher courses or more courses in the spring season and not during the falls whenever I play. But yeah, social life, you can have a social life if you want to. I just put that last because it's not mandatory. It's nice to have, but it's not mandatory.
Athletics was definitely the hardest. Then I would kind of put social was the second hardest for me, and then academics was the third hardest.
Okay.
Athletics was the hardest, like you said, like just coming in as the youngest and stuff like that. And then also for me, I'm the only person in my event, so like I'm the only triple jumper right now at LSU. Then I put social life because, so for me, getting to college, we weren't even practicing yet because like we weren't allowed to because track season isn't till, you know, like doesn't start till January. So getting there, I felt like I didn't really have anybody, so I felt like my social life was kind of like lower. And then academics last.
Well, because they're academics don't mean they have to be tough.
Yeah,
You know.
it was different, but like, I don't know, I feel like I adjusted well to it.
Okay.
But yeah, for me, definitely my social life and athletics was definitely tougher.
Okay. Adrian?
For me, I would put athletics first, and then social life, and then academics, like Taylor said. Athletics because like what they've said, like being a freshman, being the youngest, adjust. Social because I had time for it. Like we made time to like go out, and like sometimes if they did have like these little parties in the gym we would go to, but we didn't really get to like actually go out like outside of the school to go do things like everybody else got to do. Academics because it was pretty easy for me. Like my major's kind of easy in my opinion since it's something I really like.
Gavin?
I would say athletically, it was the hardest thing because, you know, you're always the biggest, strongest in high school in your area. Like, you're that guy, you're that girl in high school. And whenever you go, you're no longer a big fish in a small pond, you're a small fish in a big pond.
Yeah, that yard got big.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so that was a big adjustment, just the bodies on people. Crazy. The velocity that like people throw at now, like we faced 100 2 or 3 times this year in college ball, which I thought was crazy. For me, academically was second because Baylor is a really good school academically and they take academics very serious. We had mandatory study hall. You have everyone around you trying to like keep on pushing you towards good grades, a ton of homework, a ton of tests, all that. I would say socially was last for me because I'm more of a small circle kind of person. I'm my band of brothers on the baseball team. We have 40 guys, so that's plenty for me.
Most definitely, like everyone else said, athletically is number one. Just everyone at the next level is just as good as like the best player was in high school. And I have a funny story. On my visit, we're playing open gym, and one of the old dudes, he brings it down. He takes like 2 dribbles inside the half and pulls it. I'm guarding him. I'm like, oh, he's crazy, and just cashes it. I'm like, okay, whatever. He's got it. And then he comes around. I'm guarding him again. Next possession, comes off a screen, pulls it again, hits it. I'm like, okay. I'm like, whatever. And then he hits it a 3rd time, and we lose the game because of it. And my dad after, I was really mad because I didn't want to lose at all, and we just lost all day. And my dad gets in the car, he taps me, he's like, they can all shoot 10 times better than you've ever shot. And I'm like, yeah. And that's just like the athletically, especially in AIA, everybody can shoot. All the bigs are like, they're not like big, but they're like these big corn-fed white dudes who are like 6'5", like 250, and they have like this inside post game, and it's just annoying to guard. Academically is definitely number 2 though. It was a lot of busy work at the beginning, and I think after that, and then obviously the essays and papers and stuff, but obviously for all the other classes, like the busy work, so it's basically like the same. It's not much harder than high school, but there's a degree of difficulty. And then socially, I don't talk to many people. Like what Gavin said, I keep in my circle. My circle's 5 people, and I'm always with them.
You said something a minute ago, Gavin, that I wanted to make a point of. You said it's just baseball. It's still baseball at the end of the day, right?
It is, 100%.
And for me, I was a high school coach and got elevated to college, right? So that's a transition for me as a coach. And I remember asking a assistant coach from another university, I said, man, this is going to be tough, isn't it, for me to move from high school to college? He said, it's still basketball, just better players. Mm-hmm. And that's what I think y'all's transition is. You guys all are skilled, and you just now doing the same thing with better players. Just like from when you went from elementary school to middle school to high school, the players got better, coaching got better, which made your job a little harder. Would you agree?
100%.
All right. RJ?
To start off, definitely athletics was definitely the toughest. One, like, you know, you're going to JUCO, right? I mean, you know there's going to be some really good players, but when I got there, I was like, okay, I know it's going to be good players, I'm ready to go. And those guys, man, I mean, those guys can play. And I thought I was like, dang, how'd I get here? Like, I thought I was terrible, you know what I mean? Like, geez, these dudes are killing me, right? And but it was the competition. I mean, just the level of play that these guys. I mean, you got Division I guys coming down. You got guys that, I mean, dominated high school and they're killers. You know what I mean? And it's like, man, dude, I'm playing with these guys, right? And so it was. I was really excited to get going with them guys. And then for me personally, I found out I had an issue with my leg, my muscle. my leg wouldn't activate, and so it caused my leg to be really small, and it caused my whole body to be unstable. So to avoid surgery, I had to work intensively on therapy and recovery for like a month and a half, and that was hard for me because not playing basketball, you know, coming out of high school, I mean, I was blessed to have a pretty decent resume, and you know, I was like, I'm ready to go, and then getting there and having to be, you know, out was tough for me. But you know, my parents always told me, God has a plan, and my coaches were excellent. They were very patient, and you know, we always spent time in prayer and just praying that I'll be back and ready to go. And the Lord has blessed tremendously me coming back and getting that time. And in that time, I learned, you know, I got to love the game even more. And I learned that, you know, basketball is just a sport. You know, it's a sport you love to play, but you know, it's a game. And for me, I personally, I actually idolized it and put it so far up that, you know, God said, okay, I'll put you on your back. And I first, remember that.
Say, I'll show you, I'll teach you something.
Right. And God, you know, when God says, hey, you know, he tries to get your attention, he gets your attention big time.
Yes.
Academically, I would say academically was second. Me personally, academically, I had a pretty good resume or GPA throughout high school. I graduated with a 4 something in high school, and you know, my parents, my mom, my dad, they have always been on like, hey, keep your head in the grades, like you make sure them grades stay up. And so, you know, I've been taught from a young age to just work on, you know, making sure you're doing your work and everything.
So tell me the support systems that your college has to help you with the academics. So that's the next question.
There's tutors, there's quite a lot of tutors in the library that you can utilize. They have different organizations, like for instance, they have mental health. They have groups where you can go if you're struggling with depression. They have mental checks every week for all the athletes. So you have to report to this, they send you a thing, you have to report to it every week. You have to send how you're doing. If you're not doing good, you can go and talk to somebody and help, and they have groups like that. And even the library, there's resources in the library online you can use. But I personally use the tutors. Like, I was in the library probably 5 hours a day, just getting tutored, making sure I had my stuff done. And they're excellent tutors. They help so much, and they're actually graduates themselves, so they understand the concepts and everything, and they're really good at teaching.
For me, my school has a lot of support, especially with mental health. We get wellness days probably once a month, maybe twice a month.
What that means? Tell me what that entails.
It's basically where you just don't have any classes. We don't have practice that day. It's just a whole day to just like get a mental reset and just basically chill for the whole day. And then they have like things for that day. So they'll have like little meetings you can go to and talk to people, or like group sessions. They have like a massage therapist come and like give free massages for like 2 or 3 hours, like stuff like that. And then my coach, she does like wellness checks with us once a week. She'll text us like, hey, how are you doing? Are you good? Like, what's going on with like your life this week or whatever. And then school-wise, we have a whole second floor and third floor of the library just for tutoring, and like we have like writing tutors and math people and just people just to help you with your homework whenever you need it. So my school is like really good for support in all aspects.
We're not as advanced as y'all. We don't have like the wellness days or the.
I don't know most people that do have like when I tell people we have wellness days, they're like, what even is that? Like, how do y'all even get to have that? Stuff like that. So.
But we do our libraries open almost 24/7. It's only not open from like midnight to like 5 a.m. Our coaches are very they're like, if you need someone to talk to, you can always talk to us. And our head coach is like very vulnerable with us, and he's like, I'm vulnerable with y'all. Like, I'm showing y'all can also be vulnerable with me. We can talk about stuff that you're not comfortable talking about. And that helped, because I had a bad week where I got homesick, and I didn't really want to go to practice. I did, but I was just kind of like, just wasn't giving it 100%. And they kind of noticed that, and they asked, and I was like, I'm good, it's whatever.
How many hours away are you from your school?
7.
Okay.
We have a academic center only for student athletes, which is really nice. And it's right next kind of to our food cafeteria and the football stadium, so it's kind of all really close. Huh? Yes. So there you have your tutors, you're gonna have my academic advisors also, his office is in there. So if I have any questions about my schedule, or if I want to change my schedule or schedule for the new upcoming semester, I can do that there. And then my first year, I had a math tutor who I love her so much. You know, even if you want to go in there and have like just a simple conversation. And then they also have 2 labs for us where they have laptops and it's very comfortable. They just redid it actually with couches and, like I said, laptops and computers to where you can do your work. And everything's very easily accessible. So that's where we kind of do our own study hall. And then for the sports psych kind of area, we have a sports psych, I'm pretty sure, assigned to each sport. And if you don't kind of click with them or connect with them, you can switch your own sports psych. I would say since I've been there, honestly, it's been kind of sporadic. We're not scheduled, but it just kind of depends on how I'm feeling. And so I can just shoot her a message like, hey, like, can we meet this day, this time? And she's like, yeah. So I think that's definitely helped me a lot adjusting, getting into college. And so with all that, you know, support, you know, obviously not much can go wrong. So that's what we have over at Texas.
They're not setting you up to fail.
Right.
Ours is very similar to Bryn's. Everything is like right there. We have an academic center for student athletes only, and we have academic advisors who help us out with scheduling, all that, with tutoring and everything. If they see you struggling in a class, they'll text you about it and be like, hey, do you want tutoring? Or sometimes they'll be like, you're going to tutoring. And they do a really good job about making sure we're on top of things, making sure our mental health is good. We'll have mental health checks, not mental health days. That's awesome. So we do have sports psych guys too, who we get to talk to and everything. If you're not feeling the best, or feeling down, feeling stressed, whatever, they're always there for you. Our support system is very good, and I would say it's very tough for you not to succeed if you use your resources correctly.
I would say like our support system is also very similar to Bryn's. We have tutors, like we have an academic like athletic center for the athletes. So I have my academic advisor that I met with like once a week. So he could like tell me like what I need to be working on as far as grades and like what grades I need to bring up and like to make honor roll and all that type of stuff. Then we have our tutors, and like when we first get to school, they ask you what classes you think you'll need tutors for. So I immediately was like, okay, math, biology, like I'm gonna need tutors. So I met with my math tutor twice a week and biology once a week. We have sports psychologists. I haven't met with any yet, but we do have them. Also my teammates, like the older teammates that have been there, they're huge in support, especially the ones that, a lot of us share the same major. Like I'm in kinesiology, so like a lot of athletes are also in kinesiology, and like my older teammates definitely helped me like with scheduling, like what classes to take during season, what classes to kind of take in our summer sessions and stuff like that. So
can I add on one thing?
Sure.
I just think like if you're going to be in college athletics, it's really important to, what Gavin said, take advantage of your resources. I think I was very stubborn in my first year. You know, I was struggling with academics a little bit, and I was struggling with mental health. And it kind of took me almost the entire semester to reach out and say, hey, I do need help. So I would say don't be as stubborn as I was, you know, take advantage of the things that you have like available to you. So that would also be like a big piece of advice that I would give to these athletes wanting to go into college.
See, I had a pastor once recently say, your journey sometimes is difficult by design, which meant you had to go through these things to get you where you got to go. Mm-hmm. But listening to you guys, I also see that your journey can be convenient, because think about it. They didn't design those buildings where they put them just because it was, oh, let's put it here, so that it takes away the element of you guys saying, well, I can't get over there. Why you can't get over there? It's just right across the walk. Mm-hmm. So everything is, all those conveniences you have, it was by design. Yeah. Just like your journey sometimes can be difficult, can also be convenient by design. Because you can't wake up and say, man, I don't feel like walking 50 feet to go to go do my homework, man. You know, it eliminates all of that good stuff. That's good stuff, guys. Take us through a typical day of the life of you on campus. You know, like I get up at 6:45, I have to be at this. Just take us through one day, one of your most interesting days of the week. Okay, I'm gonna start with you, Taylor.
Okay, so my busiest days this semester were Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So
okay.
A typical day would be I wake up at 7 because I have a 7:30 class. I have a scooter, so that gives me more time in the morning, so I don't have to get up as early because I don't have to walk 15 minutes to class. So I get on my scooter, scoot to class. I have psychology, 7:30. That class is very interesting. I actually really like psychology. Then I go back to my dorm. I try not to fall asleep because then I have 9:30 tutoring at our academic center. Like usually I'll get breakfast or something in between. So then I go to our 9:30. Our center has like breakfast also, like outside of the dining hall, so you don't have to go to the dining hall and then go to breakfast. You can just
Convenient.
Yeah, it's convenient. You can just get it at your tutoring. So I have 9:30 tutoring. On Wednesdays, I also have 10:30 tutoring because I have biology tutoring after my math tutoring. Then after that, like our practice schedule is kind of different just because like I'm a jumper, but jumps also includes like pole vault. So like we're all in the same group, but our coach doesn't like us to practice at the same time. So usually I go at 12:30. So after I go to tutoring, to my 2 tutorings, I get lunch. Then I go to practice. After practice, on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we lift. So I go lift, and then after that, I go to rehab afterwards. Do I need to take an ice bath? Then after that, I usually wait for my teammates to finish. Like my roommate, we're super close, but she's a sprinter, so her practice is after my practice. So I usually wait for her to be done with her rehab, and then we go to dinner together. And after that, that's it, go to sleep.
Nice. So I'm gonna take you guys through like a typical game day for us. So I'll wake up, it just depends on whenever we have walkthrough times. So let's say I wake up around 8 a.m., make myself breakfast at my place. And then I'll have class. Let's say I have 1 class, 2 classes, I'll go to those classes. Those typically range from 50 minutes to 1:20. So it just kind of depends on our next thing on our itinerary. Normally the first thing during a game day that we have is lunch at our food cafeteria. We call it the Cash, and they have like the most amazing food ever. And so we'll go there as a team, coaches included, and we'll all just kind of sit together. We'll be matching, wearing our little game day outfit, have lunch there, and then once we're done with lunch, we'll go to the arena, and then we'll have rehab before walkthrough. So rehab normally happens about an hour before walkthrough times. So rehab, hour, and then get ready to practice, which is our walkthrough, for about an hour and a half maybe. Get done with that and then go back to rehab if needed. And then we'll just kind of sit and chill, and then we'll have film session of the team that we're about to play that day. And then after that, then we'll kind of get ready for the game, girls do makeup and hair and all that stuff. And then it's game time. So pretty simple, everything's laid out for us, which is really nice. But nothing over the top, nothing too crazy, but it is a long jam-packed day, especially if you play 7:30, 8 p.m., you know, the game, let's say, lasts 3 hours, you're gonna get home pretty late and then rehab after the game, and then get home, maybe you have class the next day. But they lay everything out, which is really nice, and they provide you with food, pre-match meal, post-match meal, so, yeah.
How different is that on the road?
On the road,
Because that's a typical home game night.
Right. So I would just say the only difference on the road is obviously you're not gonna have class, you're gonna travel in the day before, and then you have your walkthrough the day before. So that's the difference in that. And then let's say walkthrough is the day before. The next day, which is game day, we'll have a practice. So it's kind of, you're in practice twice before the game whenever you travel. So walkthrough is first day, and then game day, practice, go back to the hotel, eat, relax for maybe an hour or 2, film session at the hotel, and then go and play the game.
Would that, and I'm gonna ask this question because I remember my college coaching days. When you were on the road, did it vary the time of day that you could go and practice at the site?
So normally the team or the campus that you're playing at, they'll give you your time. So we played at one place and they gave us like a 7 p.m. walkthrough time. My coach was like, we're not doing that. We're gonna practice in Lubbock and then we're gonna, go there and just play the game straight up. So it just it's whatever's available for that arena at the moment, because they may have cheer practicing, they may have basketball practicing. So it's I don't know how it works, but maybe we may be the last to get in just because we are the visiting school. So it's it just depends, but it's different for each campus that you go to.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a little gamemanship. So I'm playing you're gonna practice whatever time I say.
Yeah.
So guess what? I'm not gonna give you the best time of the day to get in the gym. Mm-hmm. I remember when I was at TCU as a coach and we played Texas. And you know what time our shoot around time was? 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
You scheduled us a 7 a.m. shoot around time. We still in Fort Worth.
Yeah, especially if you have to be there an hour before girls get taped, and rehab and all that stuff.
And see, teams do that stuff. That's gamemanship. They doing that stuff to kind of disrupt you.
Yeah.
A little bit. That's why I asked. I
We've
want to
been
know
through that.
if it still happens.
We've been through that a couple times.
So in the fall is our off-season time, but I'll take you through Friday, which we call Fun Day Friday.
Okay, let's have some fun, y'all.
Yep. So we have 6 a.m. lifts. So we lift.
What,
and then
6 a.m. That's the fun Friday?
This is Fun Day, yeah. Fun Day Friday. And 6 a.m. lift, and then we'll do conditioning after the lift. So you're done about 7:30, and it's really fun conditioning. It's the best. So you'll get done with that. You go eat breakfast. Then I come home, take a shower, and then head to class. I'll be there from 9 to 12, 12:30-ish. Try to quickly go and grab lunch because our practice starts at 2:30, but everyone gets there early, getting their early work in and everything. So go grab lunch, go eat, head straight to the field, get dressed, go do my early work, rehab, whatever I feel like I need to be done for that day. And then we'll scrimmage. So we'll usually scrimmage anywhere from like 7 to 9 innings, so 2 or 3 hours worth of that. And before that, we'll have like a full practice, like batting practice or individual work, all that. So you're there from like 2:30 to 7:30, and then you need to do your post-throw stuff, your rehab if you feel a little down. So you're done around 7:30, 8. You go and grab dinner. And then after dinner, come home, shower, try to do some homework, be done by 10, and then I will be in my bed at 10:30 and asleep by 11.
What city in Kansas is your school?
Salina. So it's
Salina,
right up
okay.
35 for
Okay.
cool
Yeah,
7
straight
hours.
shot.
Straight shot. Probably my busiest days are most likely Mondays. Wednesdays in the off season because we have 3 workouts. Mondays, I usually wake up around 5:30, 5:45. I roll out of bed, I walk. Our campus is really small, so we don't got scooters or anything, so everything's within a 5-minute walk of each other.
Gotcha.
So I usually just walk to the gym, just lace up, get practice from 6 to 7:30. I run home real quick, I shower, tiny, awesome showers, and I have no hot water at 7 in the morning. And then I go eat breakfast, and then from breakfast I have a 9 a.m. And then from my 9, I have class from 9 to noon. Then afternoon, I'm probably waiting on my friend to get out of class so we can go eat lunch. And then after lunch, I usually take a cool little 30-minute power nap, and then so does he. And then we get up, and then we probably either go shoot. And then in the second semester, I'm gonna try to add lifting somewhere in the later afternoons.
Okay.
It's usually my day.
What about you, RJ? What's that typical day?
So Mondays we have class. So my classes on Mondays are about 9:35 to 2:30, 2:35, and Tuesdays is 8 to say 11 something. But I'll take you through Monday. So Monday for me, I get up at 3:30. I do my own
3:30 a.m.
Yeah. I do my.
3:30 a.m.
Wow.
So
RJ, be for real.
seriously,
Bro,
I do
that's
3:30
crazy.
That's why you go to
a.m.
sleep at 8,
So
right?
I'm going to sleep at 8.
So I do my own
Makes sense
personal
now.
workout at 3:30 a.m. and then I chill for a little bit, maybe eat a couple snacks, take some vitamins, and then have my Bible study, and then we have morning practice. So I go to morning practice, and then after that I might come back, shower, then go to class. Then after my second class on Mondays, I go to the training room and I get some treatment, do some things in there. Then I go to my third class, and then after that I go get some food, and then go to practice. And after practice, I go straight to the library for
So you have
homework
morning
tutoring.
and afternoon practice? Okay.
Then I go straight from practice to the library, tutoring and homework, and then maybe eat some food during there. Then I go straight back to the gym for individual workouts, my own personal workout in the gym, shooting, get some dribbling and workouts. And then I go home, maybe, if I didn't cook that morning for breakfast, then I'll maybe cook some dinner, or I'll just eat some leftovers and then go to bed and do it again the next day.
Do it, start over.
Every day.
30?
I'm supposed to start on 3.
Oh my God.
I can't
At 8 p.m.
imagine.
sleep be clutch.
That's why you go to bed at 8
You go to
o'clock.
bed at 8
Yeah.
p.m.?
I try to range between 8 to 8:30, max 9, max.
Wow.
Bro,
When do you do homework?
Library, like I spend a lot of
yeah.
time during the library tutoring, and that's like I get all my homework done there.
Cannot imagine.
Yeah.
Another example of how it's more ways to get things done.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think
No,
I
I'm
have.
interested in
I
this day.
don't think I
I'm
have
not-
a
yeah, I'm
day
not-
like anybody else has said. I think I probably have the chillest schedule on my team because I have the 3 online classes. So I'm just gonna walk y'all through Tuesdays and Thursdays because that's my favorite day. So I wake up at 6:15 because I have a 7 a.m. which is like foundations of physical education. And then right after that, I go to breakfast really quick because I have an 8:30 class, which is my favorite class. It was first aid and emergency medical care. And then after that, I'm done for the day with classes. So I sometimes go to the library for like an hour or two to try to get my study hall out the way, or I'll go back to my room and take like a 2 to 3 hour nap. Kind of depends on the day, like if I want to like eat or whatever. So sometimes I'll eat before my nap, or I'll just nap longer so that I can get ready for practice, and I'll just eat like something quick in my room. And then we practice at 3:30, and then we end at 6, and then the whole team goes and eats dinner. And then I go back to my room, and sometimes we'll have like game night, or like I'll do homework, or like chill. I have like the chillest schedule ever, so
Okay.
yeah.
Just kind of one thing.
Yes, sir.
So when people hear that early time, right? People are like tripping, right? But I've been doing like in high school. I mean,
I know.
yeah,
You did that in high school?
Oh yeah, I woke up at I think it was 4 maybe, and I did a weight lift, and then a workout. Then I came home. Then I went to class.
You did workouts at school?
Yeah. No, like my own workouts outside of school. Then I would come to school.
No, I wasn't having
I
workout.
know
No.
you were. I'm saying like, did you do it? I know I'm saying, did you do
That
it
wasn't
at
me.
the school?
No.
Oh.
And then I go to class, and then I would go to practice, and then after practice, go back home and get ready to do that. Nobody knew I did it till after the end of the year because I keep it kind of on the low. But yeah, but that's what I've been doing it since senior year or junior actually.
So he was already conditioned for
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
he
my
ready.
goodness.
You ready. Okay, was that it for you?
Yeah, I don't really do much during the day. I mean, I have 1 to 2
Yeah, you
classes. I do sleep. I think I have to just get myself ready for practice. Since we do practice for so long, I have to get my mind right. So that's resetting myself is my nap.
I'm not questioning the process. I'm just saying that's what you do.
Next semester, I probably won't get that since I stacked my classes to the max. So
What would you say has been one of the most rewarding things being a college athlete? And then tell me what was most challenging as well. Okay, we'll start with Gavin.
Okay, so
What's been most rewarding first?
the most rewarding for me, just because of my circumstances, is just being able to play at this level. And I'm 21, and most people my age they're about to be done with college, getting ready for work, and I'm worried about a kid's game. So that's kind of the most rewarding for me. Like I'm still having fun. I'm gonna try to play this game as long as I can. And so it's very rewarding and fulfilling for me to just be able to do what I love at such a high level. And it's awesome. Like I love it. I love every second of it, even though sometimes it's not the most fun or something like that. It's definitely rewarding to just be able to wake up and get to say, I get to play baseball today, or something like that. And a challenging thing is kind of on the same thing. Like sometimes it's really tough to be able to like look at it and be, hey, like I still get to play baseball. Like for me, sometimes that's challenging because I'm like, I should be going on with life or doing whatever, doing something else. And challenging also is just the mental side of it, because like last season I played in 50 out of 55 games, like my freshman year, my redshirt freshman year. So it was awesome for that, but I also struggled mightily in like the middle part of the season. It was really tough because you just dig a hole that seems like you can't get out of.
Can we come back on the girls' side over here and go with Taylor? What's been rewarding for you?
For me, I would say the academic opportunity, like getting my school paid for and being able to possibly get a degree like debt-free is a huge thing for me. So that, going on from college, whether it's medical school, graduate school, whatever, I don't have to worry about finishing paying for college or into my adult life. Like my dad always tells me like he's still paying his student loans or like he just finished and like he doesn't
how
want
old
that
are you?
for me.
How old are you?
19.
And you say your dad is still paying his
He
college?
just finished like last year.
Okay.
So that's like a big thing was like not having student loans. So I'm very, very grateful for that. I would say the most challenging for me is knowing that I won't get to be home as much, like missing my mom, my little brother. Because especially during season, like me being home right now, this will be the last time I'm home till like July. So that's a long time for me not getting to like see my family at home and stuff like that. So.
Okay.
So I think the most rewarding thing for me would be just seeing the little girls in the stands, just cheer for you. I think that's one of the things that no one really prepares you for, or seeing the fans. And I think, especially for me, just the little girls just cheering and, they're just dipping their toes in volleyball and, they love it so much. And to see collegiate players play their game at such a high level, that's just something that I've never thought that I would have loved so much. Yes, I love playing the game. I love wearing the jersey. But it's like seeing those little girls, taking photos with them running up to you after your game. That's just one of the things I'm like, wow. I think one of the most challenging things, like Gavin once again said, is whenever you overthink, because you want to make it look like it's effortless, and that's not always the case, because you want to be, or at least for me, you want to be perfect in every single aspect of the game, and you want to make sure that you're doing everything right, but that's not obviously going to happen every single time. So I've been told, because it's funny, I'll be in the weight room, and then a former player from actually whenever I went to that same elite camp years ago, she was like, Bryn, just be a goldfish. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, they don't think at all, just do it. Just don't think, just do it. I'm like, okay, I'll just be a goldfish, whatever.
Okay, come back over to Jackson now.
Probably the most rewarding thing so far is that I'm like setting the path for my little brother. Because my little brother wants to play college basketball, he wants to play basketball, and he always asks me questions about it. And I feel like for me, that's really rewarding, because I love my little brother, obviously. And so I obviously want to set like the right path and like the right goals for him, tell him what he needs to do, what he needs to work on and stuff like that. And then the struggle was, like Gavin said many times today, the mental part about it, and just a lot of doubt, a lot of self-doubt. Because when I transferred from Legacy to go to Mansfield, I was going to be a junior on JV at Legacy, and I was like, I feel like I'm better than that, but I don't know if I am, because there was just so much self-doubt. So I didn't, there was like that huge jump that needs to be made. Like if I do leave, what if I'm just on the same page over there? And I feel like a lot of that came, I'm not going to name drop, but a coach at Legacy who no longer coaches in the district told me I shouldn't be playing basketball. He said I should have stayed in soccer, or his exact words to me. He said I shouldn't have played basketball. I should have kept being a soccer player. So that was a big thing for me. That was a big chip on my shoulder that I wanted to use.
My dad told me I was too little to play basketball. You're not as tall as your brother. My older brother was 6'2" at the time, and now I'm taller than my brother. So you told me in the sixth grade. In the sixth grade that I wasn't going to be big enough, because he was a baseball guy. Yeah. He wanted me to play baseball. And I did play baseball, but that wasn't my love. My love was basketball. Of course. So I get it. And that was my driving force to prove to him that I could be a good, But my dad was one of the most pessimistic persons I've ever met. But I appreciate it now more than I did then, because I think I know what he was doing, and even if he wasn't, it worked. Yeah. He motivated me, because I called him getting ready to play for the state championship as a coach, and I called him and said, "Hey, I got tickets for you and Mom to come to the game," and he said, "Well, you think you have a chance?" I said, "A chance to do what? You think you have a chance in that game?" I said, if they don't let us play, that's the only way I won't have a chance. If they let us play, we got a chance. So, he used his pessimism to drive me, I think. Yeah. And so I appreciate it now a whole lot more.
Wow, I could go a long way with just how rewarding everything has been, but some of the things definitely being able to play again, like play basketball, and being able to put I think I overlooked the little things when I was playing before, like putting on a jersey, walking into practice, grabbing a ball, being able to shoot, being able to jump, being able to move, be able to do things, be able to just have fun. Like I think I overlooked those things, and so just being able to actually see those things again and be able to enjoy them and recognize that, hey, you know, like these things matter too, little things. And on top of that, adding on, definitely me personally, just it's been great to see my relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ grow through me being out, because I had no one else to lean on but him. And you know, no matter what I was trying to do, who I was trying to go to, it was him that I needed to go to, and he helped me, you know, see like, hey, listen, like I got your back, but you need to trust me. And I think I realized like I need to have more faith and grow into that. And another thing, definitely relationships, like that I've been able to create over at McLennan, just with like maybe the people cooking in the cafe, maybe just the people cleaning the gym. I mean, just those type of relationships with people, and even at church, I mean, just the love that the people have shown to me has been absolutely amazing. And I'm just truly grateful and blessed for that. And a challenge, I would say distractions, procrastination, and like they said, overthinking for sure. Because I had an issue with that quite a few times, and I would call my parents and tell them like, man, it sucks, you know. And my parents they were just like, okay, well, listen, 1 Corinthians 10:31, whether you eat or drink or whatever you do all the glory of God. And so I was like, okay. But I think that, you know, oftentimes as, you know, you want to be great in a sport, like we all play sports, and you want to be great. And when you mess up, you can get to like, dang, oh, that's this, you know, crap. Like, you know, you get to overthinking little things. And I think that typically happens, and that can ruin a lot of good players, just with their mental. And mental is a big part of the sport. And for those coming in, those aspiring college athletes that want to be college athletes, you know, don't let your mental kill your energy, your happiness. Don't let your mental, your overthinking kill your dreams and your goals. Just because you messed up one day doesn't mean your whole career is over with. Just because you made a turnover, a coach said you suck, doesn't mean you know, it's over with for me. Like you keep building, you keep going. And oftentimes guys get caught up into, when they overthink, like they stay in it. And when you fall, you got to get back up. And I learned I had to do that because I struggle with that too. And so, and like I said, distractions and procrastination, you know, I witnessed a lot of distractions take out a lot of guys. And, you know, it could be partying, could be anything, distractions, you know, and just being able to stay focused and, you know, even procrastinating, staying focused on what you're doing, staying focused on your task at hand, and just making sure you're taking care of your business. That's the main goal of it. You do that, you're gonna be good. So.
What you said, so many things I want to make comments on, so I'm gonna take the latter. The first one was the little things. Remember the DeSoto, that's what we preach. The little things are the big things.
Little things matter.
The other thing you just talked about was, what did you just say? Procrastination and all that type of stuff. We called it evil forces.
Yeah.
Anytime something is pulling you away from your path and doesn't want it to go the way it's supposed to go, we treat it as an evil force.
Yeah.
Stay away from evil forces.
Yeah.
And they come in all shapes, forms, and fashions
Anything.
too. They could be your so-called best friends, your girlfriend, your boyfriend. Sometimes it could be parents, it could be whomever. Mm-hmm. But if it's an evil force trying to drive you away from the path that has been made for you, you need to stay away from them.
And there's things called good distractions too. Like, you know, we often look for the bad distractions, right? But sometimes things like things that you think are great may be distracting you from it too.
Right.
And my dad always told me, like, put bridles on. Like a horse with bridles, when bridles go on, he can't look one way, you control it. Just put bridles on and make sure you're controlling what you're looking at, your destiny, your goal. Because if you start looking left to right, you're gonna get distracted. You don't wanna do that.
And the last thing was, you're not the only one made a phone call home to parents.
No.
I called my mom though,
A lot.
and I graduated college years ago. So you didn't start that calling home stuff.
Yeah.
I called my mom the final semester of my senior year and told her, Mama, I don't think I'm gonna make this graduation. She said, real simple, you'll be all right. I say, no, you don't understand. I got this teacher that has tenure that's getting ready to retire, and he don't really care about us, and I'm gonna fail this class, and if I fail this class, I'm not gonna graduate. She said, you're gonna be all right. And that's all I needed to hear. Because as athletes, we've been kind of conditioned not to let people down, right? You don't want to let your coach down, you don't let your teammates down. So, yeah, you guys, this has been very therapeutic for me. I hope it's been therapeutic for you. And let's hear from this last person here.
The most rewarding has probably been like turning a dream into reality. Like I never really thought I was actually gonna play college volleyball. I thought I was always gonna be like a dancer or something else like that. So like to actually see it come true is like really rewarding to me. And then probably the most challenging thing is like my knee this year, because I've always had knee issues, but I feel like this year is like the peak of it. It's like it's always hurting, it's popping, sometimes I can't walk, sometimes I can't bend my knee, like all kinds of stuff. So like trying to get through that and still play all the time and practice and all that is probably really challenging. And the whole thing I said earlier about like being a freshman and adjusting to like waiting your turn, like that was kind of challenging because I didn't really understand it at the time like I do now. So like all of that together has kind of been challenging this year.
Okay, I had this on my notes, but we're gonna have to cut it off at this point. But I'm just gonna assume all our GPAs are great, right?
Yeah.
Nobody, because you gotta have a good GPA to play, right?
Should be a
So
4.0.
if you go back to Texas high school sports and rules, you guys was conditioned that all your life, right? You've always had to pass to play.
Yeah.
So this is nothing new. Right. All right, this has been Coach Bacon, your host of the Passion Project with these great college athletes. See you next time.